Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the University of Alberta Faculty of Law. We'd like to thank you very much for coming this morning. We know that many of you have traveled quite a way to be here today, and we appreciate it. My name is Chaylene Gallagher, and together, along with Kobe Diam, will be your MCs for today. Joining us are a number of faculty and staff whom you will have the chance to meet and ask questions later in the Knowledge Cafe portion of the day. We have Professor Shannon O'Byrne, Professor Barbara Billingsley, Professor Stephen Penny, and Vice Dean Moinyaya. I would also like to introduce our wonderful student services staff, who you can see in the far corner there. Pat Neal, Career Development Officer. Heather Rickholt, Admissions and Records Coordinator. Sharon Mills, Student Services Receptionist. And Gloria Strathern, the Prizes and Awards Coordinator here. I would like to begin by telling you a little bit about myself and the decisions that led me to the U of A Law as a third-year student now. I've wanted to be a lawyer since I was 12, when I finally took my nose out of a book and made the logical step to the debate team. Something about solving problems with language lit a fire within me that has not yet burned out. I went to high school here in Edmonton and completed a degree in English and Psychology at the University of Alberta. I chose to stay at this university for my law degree for several reasons. Law school will be very, very challenging. You will essentially learn a new way of thinking in 3 really short years. The entire process can be extremely competitive and leave students feeling isolated and draped in pressure. Are you all really excited now? Frankly, the current job market is not improving that issue. However, there's hope. Somehow, the U of A has created a cohesive, cooperative student body. I've been told that we are unique in this regard in my travels, but don't just take my word for it. Feel free to ask your tour guides today if they've ever said no to helping a fellow student with notes for a missed class, or taking someone for coffee if they're in a difficult place personally. We support each other here, and we have room for all different personalities. The U of A Law celebrates difference and encourages our peers in their pursuits within and outside of the law faculty. The U of A actually likes when students have hobbies and interests and bring a new perspective to the law. And in such a challenging program, that support is often the difference between success and despair. I've enjoyed my degree at University of Alberta and will be graduating this spring and moving to an articling position here downtown at Bryan & Company. I have made some of my very closest friends in law school, and I know that somehow we'll make it through articling with each other's support. I'll leave this faculty with countless memories from the various groups in which I have participated, including SLS, the Law and Energy Club, and intramural volleyball, but mostly from being an executive producer of Law Show with Kobe. You saw some of our videos while you were coming in. I'm excited to begin my chosen career, and I feel prepared to do so with the tools that I've learned here. I hope we can provide you with all the information today that you need to make this important choice. But in the end, it's going to come down to what feels right. Ultimately, this event is designed to give you a snapshot of what daily life is like at U of A Law. There is an enormous amount of information that we will throw at you today. But if at all possible, I encourage you not to worry about all of those details and just to take in the environment. Get a sense of what our student body is like and see if this will be the right fit for you. Before I hand the mic over to Kobe, who will give you a rundown of today's schedule, I'd like to take a minute to thank Steve at Hello My Friend Cafe, which is located in the Gavel downstairs. That's our cafe. Steve graciously provided all the tea and coffee you've been enjoying this morning. If you do choose to attend law school at the U of A, you will come to know Steve very, very well. He is always there if you need a coffee, a snack, or just a good conversation. Steve won't judge you if you need 3 coffees and 6 cookies on a rough day, but he will make sure you're okay. So thank you for being awesome, Steve.
Thank you, Jay. As she mentioned, my name is Kobe Diam. I'm also a third-year student. I'm originally from Vancouver and completed my undergraduate degree in fine arts, specializing in acting at the University of Victoria. Many, many students are in that same path, I assure you. I decided to come to the U of A for law school for a number of reasons. First, I was interested in the school's large course offerings and its highly regarded faculty. Second, I was drawn to the practical and hands-on experiences students are able to get here. For example, as a volunteer caseworker with Student Legal Services, within the first month of school in my first year, I was already in front of a judge in court representing somebody with a criminal offense. Other schools have similar programs to SLS, but in many of them there's a wait list to get a volunteer spot, and many students graduate having never been selected to participate. Here, there is no wait list. In fact, the majority of students volunteer with SLS at some point in their law school careers. But finally, and most significantly, my decision to come here was made because of the school's reputation for having an amazing community-based student body. As Chaylene mentioned, in my 3 years here, I've never once felt like I was in competition with my classmates. On the contrary, I've felt nothing but support from both my peers and the faculty. I think the reason for that comes from the amount of social and extracurricular events that the school has to offer. Throughout my 3 years here, I participated in a variety of extracurricular activities. I was involved with the criminal, the civil, and the education and reform projects of SLS. I was involved with the Pro Bono Students Canada in the Civil Claims Duty Council project. I started the law school's first ever swim club, the Tortoises. Anybody get it yet? No? Maybe? Okay. I was involved in the school's law show as an actor for all 3 years and acted as law show's co-executive director alongside Chaylene this past year. Upon graduating, I'll be moving back to Vancouver to article at Miller Thomson. I'm not sure how many of you are hoping to article in BC after this or anywhere outside of province, but know that if you are, it is possible to get into a downtown firm even if you go to school out of province. And if you have any questions about BC or anything else, please come find me at one of the breaks and I'd be happy to give you more information. Or Pat Neal is also an excellent source for that. Quickly moving on to some small housekeeping items. Please note that today's presentations are being recorded and will be posted on our websites for students who could not attend so they can watch them. But only speakers are being videotaped, so if you have any questions, don't worry about that. Feel free to ask. You're not going to be on camera. Washrooms are located down the stairs. If you're at the bottom, the men's washroom is to the left and then a left, and if you're at the bottom, the women's right and then a right. Check out the information you receive here today because it may be a useful refresher once you get home. If you refer to your pamphlet, you'll see a brief roadmap of today's program. Over the next hour, we'll hear from speakers who will share insights on the various benefits that the school has to offer. Then we'll break into smaller groups and head into the Knowledge Cafe to tour the building and meet some of the student groups, alumni, and faculty. You will be led by student volunteers who are extremely friendly, so please ask all of your questions. Lunch is at noon and will be catered by Upper Crust Catering, and it'll be just outside these doors. And then we'll take a break for lunch and reconvene with your Knowledge Cafe group leaders at 1 o'clock, so make sure you know where to meet them at that time. This room 237 is going to be your home base, so feel free to leave your jackets and bags, whatever, in this room, but please take your valuables with you. I think that's it.
Thank you, Kobe. To begin, I would like to introduce our dean, who was new this school year and came highly decorated. Dr. Paul D. Payton was appointed Dean of Law and Wilbur Phi Bowker Professor of Law at the University of Alberta Faculty in July 2014. An expert on legal ethics, professional responsibility, the regulation of lawyers, and corporate governance, he has been recognized for his work in the United States, Canada, and England. Dr. Payton is a member of the ABA Business Law Section Professional Responsibility Committee and is consulted as an expert on ethics and governance issues across North America. Between 2008 and 2014, Dean Payton was Professor of Law and Director of the Ethics Across the Professions Initiative at the University of the Pacific McGeorge School of Law in Sacramento, California. He previously had been on the faculty at Queen's University in Canada and a fellow of Stanford's Keck Center on Legal Ethics and the Legal Profession. In 2012-2013, he served as Pacific's inaugural Vice Provost with administrative responsibilities across all 3 of Pacific's campuses in Sacramento, Stockton, and San Francisco. He has been an invited or keynote speaker for many leading academic legal ethics conferences and for state bars and law societies across the US, UK, and Canada, of course. Dean Payton holds undergraduate and law degrees from the University of Toronto, a Master's of Philosophy and International Relations from Cambridge, and master's and doctoral degrees in law from Stanford. Prior to entering the academy full-time in 2004, he practiced for a decade as a commercial litigation partner, as in-house counsel to PricewaterhouseCoopers, and as justice and social policy advisor to the Premier of Ontario. Dean Payton's published work includes leading articles on the ethical challenges for corporate counsel, in Lawyers, Ethics, and Enron on the changing role of auditors, and on multidisciplinary practice, alternative business structure, and lawyer regulation. Dean Payton writes a monthly column on ethics and the profession for Lexpert magazine, and twice a year for Lawyers Weekly in-house counsel. He received a Distinguished Service Award from the Ontario Bar Association in April 2014 in recognition of his contributions to the legal profession, and Dean Payton holds an Arbor Award from the University of Toronto for Distinguished Volunteer Service. Please welcome Dean Payton.
You know, the last time I was on stage with Kobe and Shea, I was actually highly decorated as well, but slightly differently because I looked like Gandalf. I did a cameo appearance in Law Show this year and was introduced to the tradition of Law Show and the incredible energy, passion, and commitment that our students demonstrate to being in the band, dancing on stage. Fortunately, they did not subject me to yet more public humiliation by requiring me to dance. I suppose that there's always next year. The level of commitment, we've got about 525 students here in the JD program at the Faculty of Law. And I dare say 2/3 of them this year were somehow involved in one way, shape, or form, on stage, behind the scenes, helping promote, helping sell. It's just one illustration of the kind of passion, energy, and community that you will find here at the University of Alberta Faculty of Law. I'm kind of like you about a year ago, because about a year ago I was trying to make the decision whether or not to come to this community at the University of Alberta Faculty of Law. The joke was, at the time I was in Sacramento, California, that the palm trees they showed me in Edmonton, actually I didn't realize were in the West Edmonton Mall. We've kind of gotten around all of that, but in terms of the kinds of decisions that I was involved in making, in many respects, they're parallel to where you are. So first off, welcome to the members of the class of 2018. Welcome to the University of Alberta Faculty of Law. Congratulations on your offers to join us, and we hope you make that decision. Everybody's here today, and the number of students who are involved as volunteers, tour guides, leaders, and others to consult are here because they're committed to this faculty, to this community, and to you. So talk to them. Whatever province you're from, whatever experience you're from, whether or not you spent any time in Edmonton before, yes, it is a dry cold, in dealing with the kinds of decisions that you need to make about where you want to be and advance your legal career, people, staff, faculty, students are here to help you actually arrive at that decision, respond to your questions, and encourage you to join us. We're honored and delighted that you've considered doing that here, and should you choose to join us in September, you'll become part of a remarkable community of scholars, judges, teachers, students, faculty, alumni, friends, and fellow professionals. This is a great place to launch. And that word, professional, is something that you'll come to understand more and more as you learn not only about the law, but the important role that lawyers play in people's individual lives and in the lives of the community. And this is a fantastic place to train up, not only in the foundations of the law. As I've traveled across Canada this year, especially spending time with firms and alumni in Toronto, in Vancouver, in Calgary, and elsewhere, I keep hearing about what a great foundation graduates from the University of Alberta Faculty of Law have when they enter into practice, be it with small firms or large. If you believe in Maclean's rankings, and they're a mixed bag, we're number 2 in elite firm hiring across Canada for good reason. Because the kind of foundation that you get in the law here, others are now moving towards. The Federation of Law Societies is moving towards a more common curriculum for law schools across Canada, but we're already there. That being said, we've got wonderful options, and we engage with the practicing community to offer you a variety of options in your upper year classes that can expand your range and allow you to test drive areas of law that you may have not ever thought yourself interested in, to become professionals. You may, as lawyers, be the only support standing between an individual and incarceration. You may be the only help that guides a child through a time of crisis. You may be the one holding the pen, drafting the policy, the legislation, the contract that will affect millions of lives of your fellow citizens. What you do when nobody's looking is where professional ethics lives. And you'll learn about that as well as about contract formation and acceptance. Snails in bottles of ginger beer. I won't give that away. There's something for September. Constitutional history, international treaties, principles of statutory interpretation, and this past fall, whether or not a monkey taking a selfie is entitled to copyright. We're glad you're here, and you're fortunate to be here. And forgive me if I indulge in a bit of statistical reporting for a moment, as it emphasizes what an extraordinary group of individuals decide to come to the University of Alberta Faculty of Law. Last year, this year's entering class, we admitted 182 students from 1,334 applications. For you math whizzes, you already know that that means only 13.6% were accepted. So over 80% of those who applied weren't successful. What a privilege. Ages range from 21 to 51, with an average age of 25. 42.3% were female, 57.4% were male. The class represented or came from 45 different post-secondary institutions in 66 hometowns. The institutions included the University of Alberta, University of Calgary, Grant MacEwan, NAIT, Mount Royal, but also places like Brigham Young, McMaster, University of Prince Edward Island, Northwest Missouri State, the University of Victoria, Ryerson, Simon Fraser, York, UBC, Waterloo, Western, Winnipeg, UBC Okanagan, BCIT, Brock, North Carolina State, Dalhousie, McGill, and others. We are truly a national community here. And from Alberta, to Alberta from the world, and from Alberta back to the world. 116 came from Alberta, 48 from BC, but Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and the Northwest Territories were also represented. So who are these people? Sportsmen and women, musicians, scientists, economists, psychologists, accountants, anthropologists, nutritionists, biologists, computer engineers, teachers, marketers, historians, human resource managers, linguists, kinesiologists, criminologists, philosophers, planners, and yes, Kobe, thespians. They are parents, children, spouses, partners, and friends. We have a remarkable group this year that's organized events for children of students attending the faculty. You will see a picture on the website, if you look a little carefully, of a visit by a certain Santa Claus. The beard works. They represent, and we celebrate and value, a remarkable diversity of race, gender, Aboriginal or Indigenous status, sexual orientation, or place of origin. Our students support your communities and each other. You'll support this one and each other while you're here, and you'll build community in a way that is extraordinary. I've been fortunate to be part of law school communities in Canada, the US, and the UK. This is a remarkable place. You're arriving at a place where you'll be valued, but challenged to stretch and grow in ways you didn't think possible. You'll bring to the study and then perhaps to the practice of law a sense of not only who you are, but what we as a society can become. And you'll be fortunate to encounter and be supported and sustained here by excellent teachers and scholars, and our commitment to excellent teaching is a point of pride for the faculty. This is demonstrated by the number of university award-winning, teachers we had in a faculty that's smaller than most departments at the University of Alberta. Over the past 5 years, 4 colleagues have won teaching awards, university teaching awards. Annalise Acorn won the Rutherford Award in 2014. Professor Eric Adams, whose opinions and commentary on constitutional law you may have read recently in the Globe and Mail, won the Provost Award for Early Achievement of Excellence in Teaching in 2012. Professor Mitch McGuinness won the Rutherford Award in 2011. And Peter Sankoff, next slide, won a new award in 2014, the Information Technology Innovation Award for innovative use of technology in learning. The way in which classes are actually being offered is changing. Flipping the classroom, using technology to deliver a lecture so that when you're coming into class, you're actually working on things that you've already been lectured to in a capsule or module, is something that Professor Sankoff's being consulted about across North America. We do that here. 4 other current members of faculty were winners of the Rutherford Award: Shannon O'Byrne, David Percy, Rod Wood, and Bruce Ziff. That's basically a quarter of our full-time faculty who are winners of university teaching awards, not just in the faculty. More than half of whom have won their awards in the last 10 years. These are committed and passionate teachers who are very effective at delivering complex and difficult materials to you as you navigate your way through something that, whatever your background, is going to be completely unfamiliar. We have excellent researchers. Professor Adams is part of a team that recently received a $2.5 million grant for multidisciplinary research into Japanese internment in Canada during World War II. Professor Tim Caulfield, who you might not have been able to avoid anywhere recently, thank you Gwyneth Paltrow, was recognized as one of Alberta Venture's top 50 most influential people for his work on health law and was named a 2013 Trudeau Fellow. Professor O'Byrne received the Law Society of Alberta's Distinguished Service Award for Legal Scholarship. Our faculty members write commentaries that help shape Supreme Court decisions, influence public debate, change laws, and promote people to think differently about everything from international human rights law to anti-terrorist measures to whether anti-vaccination parents are engaging in illegal activities. None of this may mean anything to you right now, but let me assure you, it will, and it counts a lot. To have access to some of the country's best scholars and teachers right from the start, and you will have access here. It's another thing I'm really proud of in terms of our community is that your teachers will, by and large, know your names. And with open door policies, you can talk to them and work with them and be consulted by them and get their support and encouragement for you as students and then later on in your careers. The legal profession's changing. And as the Canadian Bar Association August 2014 report noted, the legal profession in Canada is entering a period of major change. The combined forces of globalization, technology, and market liberalization are creating new services, new delivery mechanisms, and new forms of competition. Clients want services to be quicker, cheaper, and smarter. They want more transparency and involvement. They want to be and stay connected. So preparing you for that is also going to be really important. Slide. And we've got experienced and dedicated staff who can help you navigate through career counseling and job search in small firms and in large. We had a small firm fair earlier this week, reaching out both in terms of the large cities and in small town and rural communities, and alternative structures as well as people enter into different paths than perhaps traditionally legal practice looked like. They will help you with financial aid. They will support you and direct you to other resources for personal counseling. They'll help you with computing technology and also academic planning and advising. So while you're here, you will be supported not only by teachers and researchers in the classroom and outside, but by experienced and dedicated staff, as well as your fellow students in terms of building community. These things all matter. And wherever you're accessing them during your 3 years here or afterwards, it will be important. We're also looking at ways to enhance experiential learning opportunities. You'll hear a lot about SLS this morning. And one of the things that's changing in the profession is expectations of law schools that we're already doing a lot of and I want to do more of to get you out and to take what you're learning in the classroom and have the chance to do it on stage or with clients or in service to the community. So building on a broad suite of competitive mooting opportunities, but other experiential learning opportunities, drafting, writing, arguing, speaking, under supervision and aligned with the ways in which the profession's changing practice, something that we're very directly invested in. I'm also keen on ensuring that you develop your skills as leaders. The opening of the Peter Lougheed Leadership College on campus just down the block, in 2016 represents a huge opportunity for us and for the U of A. And I've had a couple of meetings already with its leader, the Right Honorable Kim Campbell, former Prime Minister, to explore ways that we can harness that opportunity for us here at the law school. She is very keen to have us involved in their growth and in their foundation. That will all happen while you're here. It's an exciting time, and one where you're going to be modeling what it means to be the new profession and the new professionals. Judges, lawyers, alumni, and indeed the community will be watching, which may be a different experience for you. You know, you'll be trotting through various classrooms, our first-rate facilities, which I'm working on enhancing even further, but in those classes, you know, what you model here and what you might post on Facebook and otherwise will get attention. So you need to think perhaps a little differently than what you might have done in your previous lives about what your conduct means. Because we've got a national reputation for excellence. We're very proud of these component parts, and we're proud of the people who are here. You are all ambassadors for this community, and the students you're going to meet this morning represent that entire array of those who are engaged in sports, in service to the community, in legal services offerings, in theater, in other opportunities where, from us out into the community, they're modeling and learning the importance of lawyers and the legal community giving back to others. There will be tough days ahead, as Kobe and Shay have indicated. I wasn't sure whether Shay was talking about life at Osgoode for a while. There are opportunities and difficult days. Learning the law is a real challenge. But what a portal, what a door into an extraordinary career and opportunity. You've chosen a wonderful place. For those of you who are still considering your offers, we encourage you to finalize your acceptance and choose a wonderful place where you can join our community, build on what we've got, and grow. We want you all to succeed wherever you choose to go. But we want you to succeed here and to go out and represent this faculty's proud tradition, one that produced our current Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Canada, many judges and partners, academics, professors, and many lawyers who in small but extremely important ways make a difference daily to their clients and to their communities. We hope that today you get a chance to explore and find that this is the right place for you, and we appreciate your coming to make that part of your journey. We have a remarkable group of student leaders who you're going to hear from, student leaders and ambassadors both on stage and ready to help you tour, discuss programs, and share their passion for this faculty and the community. We've got faculty members, we've got staff, all of whom are here to answer your questions and be available for you. As we end up moving into other things, you'll hear about things like competitive mooting, other parts of the exceptional student experience, and finally, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the proposed investments that I'm looking at. Those of you who have paid attention to some of the discussions and debates around tuition this past fall might be interested in about what we're actually doing. What you've got as a list there are the priorities that I've identified in consultation with our student leadership and with others in the community about where we want to be in the next 3 years should we be able to proceed in what are difficult and complex financial times. 20% of additional revenue will be going into scholarships and bursaries, and Gloria is here to talk to you about prizes and awards. I'm available as well at any stage. We're looking at enhancing career services. We're looking at being able to restore the professoriate. This was the #1 student priority in a town hall and a survey this past fall, to rebuild the academy, because they know how important it is that we've got the leading professors in Canada and lots of them to be available for you. We're looking at enhancing student services and experiential learning, offering teaching fellows, keeping the law library open this summer, financial aid officers, mental health supports, a director of student services, and in other areas. These are all frontline investments that will make a difference to you while you're here. And so despite some of the dark clouds on the horizon around government funding and the like, I'm working too many hours, as my Vice Dean Moin Yaya knows, to make sure that the financial future of this faculty really is oriented towards ensuring an excellent student experience. We'll take care of the rest. You've got enough to worry about. but I want to make sure that you are supported, nurtured, and able to grow here in ways that you expect out of your law school experience and that will provide the foundation for you for the rest of your career. I really appreciate your taking the time to come and visit with us, to bring family members, spouses, friends, and other support. Thank you, because you play an important role in the success of the individual who's been admitted, and you are also an extremely important part of our community. So welcome to all of you. Thank you very much for being here. You've heard enough from me. I will be around and available through the balance of the day. Please feel free to come up and talk to me or ask me or any of the faculty members any questions that you might have. You're going to hear from our alumni and our student leaders. You've heard enough from me at this point, but welcome. Welcome to the University of Alberta Faculty of Law. Good luck with your decision. We hope you choose to join us. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Dean Payton. I would like to introduce Brendan Sawatsky, who will speak about the alumni perspective. Brendan recently graduated with his law degree from the University of Alberta and was called to the Alberta Bar in 2014. He also has a BA in International Relations from the University of Calgary and a Master's of Engineering from Clemson University. He is the recipient of numerous academic awards. Prior to law school, Brendan worked as a contract administrator for Fluor Canada in both Calgary and Fort McMurray. Throughout his 3 years in law school, Brendan worked for the student newspaper, Canons of Construction, and volunteered with Student Legal Services and Law Show. During his last year, he served as president of the Law Students Association. Brendan is an associate in the energy group at Burnett, Duckworth, and Palmer LLP in Calgary. Please join me in welcoming Brendan Sawatsky.
Thank you for that introduction. So as Colby mentioned, I was pretty involved in law school. And as other speakers have said, there's a lot of opportunity to get involved and kind of you can do your own thing or you can participate in everything. And I think that's one of the benefits about the law school here. But before I get into everything, I'll say congratulations again to all of you. It's a big deal to be admitted into law school. I remember when I first heard that I was admitted, I was working in the career that I had before, but I was really excited about switching gears and going back to school. And I know some of you are probably coming directly from an undergrad, and some of you are probably like me who were working, and you have to make a decision. Do I want to give up my job and my money that I'm making to go back to school and pay money? But I can definitely tell you I would make the same decision again, and I'm really glad that I chose to come to U of A. I think it was, after the excitement subdued, it was a little bit stressful to choose which law school to attend. I was fortunate enough to have a few offers, so I had to weigh that carefully and do research on these prospective schools and law faculties that I'd potentially be joining. I had done research on U of A and heard that the community was very easygoing, collegial, and people were involved and very friendly. And on the academic side, the professors were writing textbooks that law schools use across Canada for their first year and upper year courses. And when I made the decision based on all those things, I wasn't disappointed that my research had been correct, and my experience at U of A reflected that collegial atmosphere, and I believe the quality of the professors here is unparalleled in many ways in comparison to law schools around Canada. So after 3 years, which were very exciting, challenging, and not to forget, very fun, I think I was ready for this stressful, competitive environment, and what I got was just 3 of the funnest years of my life. There was, of course, stressful times, and it was challenging, and that's what you want when going to law school. I think you don't want to just have a program that doesn't challenge you. But you want to also have the opportunity and an environment where you can make long-lasting friendships and get involved in things you may not otherwise have been exposed to. And I definitely found all that at the school. Being from Calgary, I was a little skeptical about living in Edmonton for 3 years. And that was probably my Calgary bias showing a little bit. But I was pleasantly surprised with not only the university, but the city as well. And I do hold Edmonton as close to my heart and a lot of good memories here. And the city definitely grew on me, and it didn't take long for me to start liking Edmonton a lot. And I still enjoy coming back here. Obviously, I'm here on a weekend when it's the middle of winter, and I chose to come back to Edmonton just because I wanted to share my experience with you, and that's how much I like U of A and Edmonton and the Faculty of Law here. So, I mean, some of the activities that have already been mentioned, Law Show, of course, rugby, both for men and women, and various clubs, student legal services. And I will say, if there's a particular interest that you do have that isn't already a club, you're definitely encouraged to start your own club. And during my 3 years here, I definitely saw a lot of friends said, well, I want to start the Energy Club, or I want to start the International Women's Club. So, I mean, there was a lot of student initiative, and I definitely think the faculty encourages that. And it's a great place to kind of expand your horizons, and while receiving support from your professors and students. So as an alumni, maybe I can speak about the value of a U of A education. As Colby mentioned, he's going to Vancouver. I've definitely had a lot of friends that were able to go across Canada to practice law from small to large firms. And I think part of that was that U of A kind of has a great reputation across Canada. So you may think, well, most people stay in Edmonton or go to Calgary. This wasn't the case for my graduating year anyways. We had a lot of people go to Vancouver, a few people go to Toronto, and others to Ontario. But I think people were able to practice law in the area that they wanted to, in the place they wanted to, and I think U of A, I mean, they were probably good people too and had the right qualifications, but I think U of A opened a door to them. So if you're not from Alberta, don't be afraid to attend law school here if you want to return to where you're from, because I think you'll be able to. It's not a barrier to doing that. And when I meet other U of A grads at work, we have an immediate shared experience. And I think that's also helped me as well in my career path. When you meet someone that's interviewing you, or just another associate or partner in the law firm you happen to be practicing in, if they have gone to U of A, there's an understanding that you both had the same experience, and you're probably a more easygoing person or relaxed. They have a kind of a sense of who you might be just based on the decision you made to attend a school, which is funny, but it definitely happens, and I don't think it's wrong to be stereotyped, and it's a good stereotype to have being a U of A graduate. Dean Payton's mentioned the educational value, and I definitely agree. As I do research and as a lawyer, I definitely am coming across academic papers that are cited in case law that's relevant to the research, and it's the professors that I took property law from, or personal property and securities law, or oil and gas. So it's kind of amazing that everything comes full circle, and you see that your professors are influencing the law when you're practicing law. So it's it's a fortunate position to be in, to learn from those people in your law school years. Law school can be competitive and stressful, and although that wasn't my experience with the competitiveness, I think it's important to be in a place where it's easy to succeed and in a positive atmosphere. And I would say the Faculty of Law here provides both those things. And it's important to set yourself up for success when you're taking on a new challenge or a new experience. And I think here at U of A, you're given the tools to do that, and you're provided with a lot of support. The professors do have an open door policy. That's not just something that Dean Payton is telling you. I know from experience that they want you to succeed. No one wants to see you fail an exam or struggle. The goal of the professors and your peers is for you to do well, and I think that might be a little different on the peers side than some other law schools, but I think it makes the difference here. And I'll end by saying I will be available in the Knowledge Cafes, so if you'd like to ask me questions not in front of everyone, I will definitely be able to answer anything and give you honest responses. And I encourage you all to ask a lot of questions to everyone you meet and kind of find out if this is the right place for you. And I think if you do choose to attend, you won't be disappointed. But again, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Brendan. I'd now like to introduce you to two current students at the U of A Law. One of them is the Law Students Association President, Scott Meyer. Scott is a lifelong Albertan and a huge proponent of Edmonton and its growth, which I promise is happening. After completing his undergraduate degree in chemistry at the University of Alberta, Scott made the easy decision to continue his education here in the city. He is currently in his third year of law school with Kobe and I, and he has volunteered with the Law Students Association over the last 2 years, an experience for which he's truly grateful. Secondly, you will hear from Student Legal Services, also known as SLS, Executive Director Robert Lavalley. Robert came to the U of A after completing a BA in Political Science at Augustana. He is currently in his second year. Robert was a criminal day leader over the 2014 summer for Student Legal Services and is currently serving as the Executive Coordinator for the 2015 year. After graduation, Robert plans to practice criminal law. Please join me in welcoming Scott and Robert.
I thought those introductions were just for the pamphlet, so they had to be shorter. If I knew they were going to be read out, I would have made mine a lot larger. So when I was asked to speak today, I kind of thought back, like, where was I when I got admitted? And this was early winter 2012, so as all of you know, Desperate Housewives was still running. So there was the episode where Mrs. McCluskey was really giving Bree a hard time about her personal life, and she went to see the Reverend. Doesn't matter. So that was the episode that I was watching as I got this email. You guys all know it too, that's why you're laughing. And I remember at the time I was sitting there with my ex-girlfriend and I was just so excited. We gave each other a big high five with emotional intimacy like that. I don't know why it didn't work out. But I could not have been more excited. I only applied to one law school. For me, it was U of A Law or bust. I was very big. I come from biochemistry, was my background. So I was very big on getting a health legal education, and here we have the Health Law Institute, which is led by Tim Caulfield, one of the preeminent scholars, not just both in Canada, but in the world. So now that I've explained the circumstances surrounding getting the admission email, I'd kind of just like to talk, well, that's a lot of notes. I kind of just like to talk about the circumstances that led to me going to law school at all. So originally at the time I was in my 4th year, I was an honors in biochemistry, and it was medicine all the way. I had been in that program for a while, and that was engineered in us. It was medicine or bust. And then eventually it came time to about August, and I was preparing my med school applications, and I figured, well, I should probably sit down at some point in time and ask myself, do I actually want to do medicine before I hand in these applications? And at the time, I was not entirely happy with my career choice. I was doing well in biochemistry. I enjoyed the courses, but I just did not feel that I was going on the right direction. So in the span of 3 days, I applied for graduation from the general chemistry program. I did not hand in my med school applications, and within 2 days, I had handed in my applications for law at the U of A. And this, I would still maintain to this day, is one of the best decisions of my life. And I say that for largely 2 reasons, and so this is both why to go to law school and why to choose this law school. The first is this school is known, and a lot of the others have alluded to it, for our culture. We are incredibly collegial. We support each other. Your 3 years at law school are going to be tough, especially the first year. Eventually, you can start to ride it out a little bit, like you know the gist. But as you get older, you and your friends start to go through more difficult times. You'll have relationships. You'll go through the struggle. It really is a new type of learning. You're learning how to think and how to address problems critically. It's going to be an incredibly stressful time, no matter where you go. But this school, and I would maintain, and I still to this day say that we have the best student body in the country, is incredibly supportive. We have social events of every breed and variety. We have social events. This year we actually started a mental health and wellness committee because we believe that, again, it's not just about supporting each other academically, but it's about supporting each other's health. So actually today, a couple students are going on a nature stroll along the river valley. I have to do the Knowledge Cafe, and that my jacket's also a little thin, so that one I'm okay not to attend, but those are examples of the type of events we have. And the second reason why I'm going to law school was one of the best decisions of my life is because law school is an incredibly formative experience. I would say, like, you will not come into law school, you will exit law school different than you came in, and that is a good thing. You will think differently, you'll approach problems differently. And one of the big things that I didn't know coming into law school is how hard making decisions can be, especially professional decisions. As you're growing up, you're kind of introduced to them lightly, you're kind of slowly dipped into the pool, whereas law school prepares you to make tough decisions. You're going to be making decisions in your career that affects someone's liberty, whether or not they're going to be incarcerated. You're going to be making decisions that affect large volumes of people. And I would say that the law school experience and the extracurricular activities that we have available at this school allow you to do that and allow you to grow, which has made me a stronger leader today. So we have Brendan Sawatsky here. So he was previous LSA president. So obviously I have to outdo him. So I will be a part of the Knowledge Cafe. But I will go one step further and put my email on the board. So if you want to email me to go for coffee, you know, I'm going to put the phone number on the board. Dorian, I'm coming around to the other side. I'm sending your schedule way off track. That's okay. That's my phone number.
Oh, that's a 7.
Yeah, that's a 7. How's your day going? So if you ever want to go for coffee, you can always text me or call me, and I'd love to give you any more information that you have. Sawatsky, I win. And thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you in the Knowledge Cafe.
Hi, everyone. I just want to congratulate everyone for getting in this far, and I hope we can help you guys make the decision. Thank you for asking me to speak at this event. So, my name's Robert. I'm the executive coordinator of Student Legal Services for this year, and half of next school year. My experience is typically limited to the criminal casework. So Student Legal Services is a nonprofit. It was established in 1969 by 14 U of A law students. It originally operated out of a bus that was painted in psychedelic colors. We currently have approximately 250 volunteers and 2 offices, neither of which are painted in psychedelic colors. It's comprised of 4 projects: the Criminal Project, which is our largest project, Civil and Family, Legal Ed and the Reform Project, and PBSC. Criminal primarily deals with criminal and quasi-criminal offenses, bylaws, impaireds, drug offenses. Civil and Family operates out of a lot of the tribunals in Edmonton. They have DYODs, which is do your own divorce. They also do a lot of contract disputes. The Legal Ed Reform primarily deals with outreaches in the Edmonton area. They have a very good reputation with the Bissell Center, the Mustard Seed, Boyle Street, homeless shelters, and just educating people about their legal rights. PBSC has numerous projects. Currently, we started the Human Rights Project last year, and so that's been very exciting. We've had 2 successful appeals. It's a student-run organization. We operate and we are staffed by U of A law students, but we actually have no oversight. It's 13 lawyers and 1 accountant who oversee us. They help us govern the bigger picture. We have a great relationship with a lot of the U of A faculty, and the dean is very supportive of us. We hire 27 students to run these projects throughout the school year. As you heard, I was hired last year as a criminal caseworker. It was an incredible experience. I got to argue charter issues, exclusion of evidence for stays. I took 2 impaireds to trial. One of them was an acquittal, the other one was a conviction. It was a fantastic opportunity. We do this because we have the support of not only the faculty, but also the bar, as well as the judiciary. We regularly receive letters from members of the bench about the students and the experience and about how helpful we are to have around, as well as members of the bar regularly walk up to us in court and give us tips, advice, any kind of information like that, because as we're just students, when a judge or an accused does something that you don't expect, and the only thing you can do is stare at the judge, you need the support of the members of the bar, and they've been very supportive. So first year, typically how it looks is, depending on where you want to go, criminal, like you heard earlier, you're in court very quickly. You'll be doing summary dispositions, which is a guilty plea, speak to sentencing, talk to Crowns. You will also write letters for AMP. You'll communicate with judges. It's fantastic. Civil and Family, take files on. You can help people with contract disputes. You can help them with family issues. Again, a great project. Legal Ed and Reform, you can participate, you can go to the outreaches, you can help homeless individuals with their legal questions. Typically at these outreaches, it's a lot of criminal, a lot of family issues or disputes with the Residential Tenancy Dispute Board. We take those issues to trial. We help everyone as best that we possibly can. Our projects are all completely overseen by lawyers. We're funded by the Alberta Law Foundation. You guys will learn about that and what exactly they do, provided that, you know, you come to law school. It's fantastic. So I would put my phone number on the board. However, it doesn't look like we have a marker, and I don't think there's any room left. So with that, if you guys have any questions, feel free to find me, ask questions to anyone. Like I said, we're involved. Everyone here, I believe, has had SLS experience in some capacity, so thank you.
Thank you, Scott and Robert. I would like to introduce our final student speakers. First, Steve Morrison and Ariel Lakis are the Law Students Association VPs of Sports. Steve came to U of A from British Columbia, where he spent 2 years at UVic and 4 years at UBCO playing varsity basketball and earning his Bachelor of Management degree. He has really enjoyed his time at U of A and credits the collegial environment of the faculty and the student body for providing him with the atmosphere to excel within the classroom and beyond. After graduation, Steve will be making Alberta his new home as he heads off to Borden Ladner Gervais in Calgary to begin his articles. Ariel came to the U of A after completing her Bachelor of Science degree. She's in her second year of law school and is an executive of the Law Students Association, the Environmental Law Students Association, and the Panda Barristers Rugby Club. She is also a sports editor for the Canons of Construction, this law school newspaper, plays on the basketball, hockey, and volleyball intramural teams, and is a dancer in Law Show. Upon graduation, Ariel will be articling at a full-service firm here in Edmonton. Second, we'll be hearing from Rebecca Bloomer from the Energy Law Club. Rebecca came to U of A after working in marketing and business development at a Calgary law firm for 2 years. Rebecca became involved in the Energy Law Club in her first year. She is currently the VP General and will be next year's president. Previously, she completed her business undergrad at Mount Royal University in Calgary. Please join me in welcoming them.
Thanks for the introduction, Kobe. First, I'd like to just say I also decided, like Che, to come to law school and become a lawyer when I was 12, but mine was not because I joined the debate team. It was after I watched Jerry Maguire, and I heard that sports agents are quite often lawyers. So no matter what brought you here, it's an amazing opportunity, and congratulations to you all. You guys have something ahead of you to look forward to, and it's a great 3 years, and your future is bright. So as Kobe said, I am VP Sports Male for the LSA, and beyond my LSA executive position, I participate on many of the law intramural teams. I also am on the litigators hockey team and am treasurer of the Golden Barristers Rugby Club. The LSA VP Sports role is here to help coordinate and facilitate active, well-balanced lifestyles during your time here at law school, which is very important. We offer the opportunity to sign up for all the sports offered by U of A Rec Services. So if you go on their website and you find any sports, you can be joining those and playing them here as a part of a law team. So long as there is enough interest to enter a law team in that sport, or sometimes 2 teams, then we will register those teams. And even if there isn't enough, we can register you as a free agent and put you on another team with other people. In a couple minutes, Ariel will talk a bit more about the co-ed and women's teams, but I'll mention some of the men's teams specifically that we do offer and have had played this past year. Basketball, flag football, both indoor and outdoor, volleyball, soccer, handball, futsal, as well as many other options and possibilities, as I said, if you are interested. We also do sign anybody up for the Rec Services tournaments. Those include the bouldering tournament, badminton tournament, 8-ball tournament, as well as many others. One of the popular sports is the hockey team. As I said, I play on the litigators. We do have 2 male ice hockey teams. One is the Tortfeasors, which is a much more competitive team for the more experienced players. So guys who play on that have had some guys who play in the HL, some guys who played university and other options. The other one is the Litigators, which is a lot more fun team. If you just want to come out and learn to play, it's your first time. We have some guys who have never even skated before, and we're out there playing on Fridays, teaching them to skate, and they come out and play with the team. So it's a fun opportunity to meet some guys. You hang out in the locker room. You make some bonds with some other buddies in law school, which helps you out in the classroom as well. If you want to know more about those, I believe you will have the opportunity to meet Steve Hughes, captain of the Tortfeasors, during the Knowledge Cafe, and you can also talk to me if you want to get in contact with the captain of the Litigators team. I will be in the Knowledge Cafe as well. The other major men's sports club here is the U of A Faculty of Law Golden Barristers Rugby Club. I am the treasurer of that, as I mentioned, and it's another fun team that you have no need for experience to play. We spend the first 2 weeks actually running through the basics, teaching you how to play. We have a huge club, usually about 30 to 40 guys on it. It's a really fun time, so it's an opportunity to get to know everyone that you'll be sitting around with and have a fun social time to get you through these years. The rugby team participates in an alumni game every year, where the alumni comes back. Redden Sawatsky is one of these alumni who come out and play, so you get the chance to meet a lot of guys who are out there working now and who used to be here in the same position as you by playing on the Golden Barristers. We also go and participate in the Western Canada Law Rugby Tournament, where you'll meet law students from all the other law schools. UBC, UVic, and U of C, and TRU all participate in it, so you'll meet a lot of other people. Every year there's also an annual LSA Golf Tournament and Curling Bonspiel Tournament put on by your VP Sports representatives, and the grad committee also puts on a slow pitch tournament. So there's lots of fun things to do. You can get out there and get active. The faculty also has student organized sports clubs. As Kobe mentioned, he started the swim club during his time here, and we also have the squash club and a few other sports clubs. If you're interested in starting a new sports club that you have a passion for, contact the LSA, and they're always willing to help you out in getting that going, help everything start up. So the U of A Faculty of Law is unique in that the sports and recreational activities offered are so vast and both encouraged and supported by the multiple law student groups and organizations here. These opportunities help build a cohesive student body and active lifestyle, which is important as you properly balance your education and your mental and physical health as you work towards your law degree here and your future career in the legal profession. Just as I mentioned, I will be in the Knowledge Cafe, so if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Ariel will let you know a bit more about some women's and co-ed sports as well as a few other options.
Hey everybody, like they said, my name's Ariel. I'm a 2L right now, I'm VP Sports Female on the Law Students Association. First of all, congrats on being admitted. I know how excited I was when I was admitted to U of A, and you guys should be excited too. It's a really awesome school. As was mentioned, I'm also a player and tournament coordinator for the Panda Barristers Rugby Club. I played on the Swift Justice hockey team, the You've Been Served volleyball team, and the law and basketball team. No, the law puns never quit. You will learn to love them. They're awesome. So law school is a lot of hard work, but keeping fit and maintaining a balance between your schoolwork and your personal life is really important, and participating in extracurricular activities will really help you have the best overall experience. As Steve mentioned, as VP Sports, we're here to help facilitate and promote an active lifestyle while you're in law school by registering teams for intramural sports. So this year, the available co-ed and women's sports included basketball, volleyball, flag football, soccer, futsal, inner tube water polo, and tennis, I believe. So we make it really easy to sign up. We just send out Google Docs. You put your name and student number on. We take care of all the registration. All you have to do is show up with your one card and a smile on your face, be ready to play. Sports are also a really fun way to spend some time with your classmates outside of class and get to know them a little less formally. And there are also a ton of other ways to get involved. So right at the beginning of the year, you'll have the opportunity to sign up for the annual LSA Golf Tournament, El Haco, which this year will be taking place Friday, September 11th at Victoria Golf Course here in town. This is a really popular event. We sell out every year. It's honestly so much fun, a great way to meet people in the first couple weeks. There are also usually a couple of lawyers from BLG that make the drive up to come join us. So for those of you that want to get a jump on your networking, make sure you show up. The Panda Barristers Rugby also starts near the beginning of September, and especially for the girls out there, I've thought it was a great way to meet some upper year students, really make some friendships early, start soliciting cans, which you'll hear all about once you get to law school. There's absolutely no experience required. I had no rugby experience when I started, and I know I was a little bit nervous. Rugby seems scary, but I promise it's not. We have top-notch coaches and a couple experienced players who will teach you all about the game. So we practice for a couple weeks, then we have the Western Canada Law Rugby Tournament, like Steve said. We play against girls from other schools, and also the Alumni Tournament, which is a lot of fun. The Panda Barristers also organize the first Friday back parties each semester as our fundraiser, and we have potlucks and stuff. It's just really a great team. It's so much fun, a great way to get involved. Even if you think rugby isn't your thing, it just might be. You don't know. In addition to sports, I've also had the opportunity to be involved in Law Show, the Canons of Construction newspaper, the Library Committee, the Environmental Law Students Association, and I really can't emphasize enough how much participating in these extracurriculars enhances your law school experience. I think one of the great things about U of A Law, as you've already heard, is the sense of community and collegiality. And there really is a group or club for any interest you might have, and if not, it's so easy to start one. So I really would encourage all of you to put yourself out there and get involved and stay active while preparing for your future careers in the legal profession. I also will be available in the Knowledge Cafe today if anybody wants to talk to me about any of the stuff I just mentioned. And good luck and have a great day.
Hi everyone, my name is Rebecca. First of all, congratulations to all of you. It's great to see all these new faces, and hopefully I'll get to see most of these new faces next year. So congratulations. As was previously mentioned, I'm incoming president of the Energy Law Club. It's really been a great experience so far. I've been involved in my first year and second year, although that's not stopping you from just dabbling 1 or 2 years or all 3 years. It's up to you. The club, from a macro perspective, our mandate is really to provide students with a lot of networking opportunities and just educational opportunities when it comes to learning about the oil and gas industry, especially in Alberta, as well as the energy industry in general. So we like to think that we provide these opportunities and hope that we can provide more for you. So the reason I got involved is, as was mentioned before, I was involved in a law firm working there, and just noticing the prevalence of oil and gas and energy and how many deals were affected by this industry. So it's a huge, huge area of practice here, or even across Canada, wherever you end up. I think it's great to get exposure, and we like to provide students with that opportunity. So a little bit about what we do over the year. 2 main events that we've done consistently for the past few years, and it is a new club, so there's always flexibility in what we do going forward. The first event that we usually hold in October before it gets really cold is we drive up to Fort Mac. Last year, in my first year, we did an overnight trip, and we saw the Suncor mine, the Shell mine, as well as the Fort McKay Aboriginal Reserve, which was really cool. So we got, all these different perspectives about the oil industry and the oil sands operations. We really got to learn a lot about the technology. We got to see the inside of a control room at Suncor, I believe. That was so cool. It's very restricted access. Usually members of the public can't see that, but they hold us in a special regard, knowing that we're law students and future lawyers that are going to be integrated in this industry. So that was a great opportunity. We saw those huge trucks up close, really cool, really astounding and amazing. It makes you a little bit proud of the Alberta. So the second trip that we do is we do a day trip down to Calgary every year, and Blake's law firm hosts us. And what we do is we organize about 6 or 7 speakers over the whole day. These speakers range in professions, from academics to government officials to people from the actual industry. So for example, we saw the TCPL, TransCanada Pipelines General Counsel, speak at this very intimate event. It was about 40 of us, I believe, and she spoke to us face to face about Keystone XL and where it is in the States and what the progress is right now. So it was really cool to get that experience. We also heard from an intermediate oil and gas CEO talking about the challenges that the Alberta economy presents and just all the social license issues, which is really interesting. So we did that both last year and this year, and it looks like we're hopefully going to get that going for next year as well. There are a lot of opportunities for involvement in the club. You can be just a general member, or you can get involved as an executive on the club. There are 3 1L rep positions available that will be advertised for in September. It's a great learning experience because we treat our executive as a mini board of directors. So whatever you're really interested in, we get great team experience working together. There's a VP Finance role, VP Communications, Marketing, Logistics, Fundraising. So anything that you want to foster in terms of business skills, that's also a great opportunity for that as well. It's really not too much more I want to say, but please come up to us, ask us questions at the Knowledge Cafe. Start thinking about them now, and we'd be happy to answer. Again, my name is Rebecca, and congratulations, you guys, on getting accepted at U of A. It's a great law school. I've really enjoyed my time here, and hopefully you will too. Thank you.